Hello students. So good afternoon everyone. So can you hear my voice? If you can hear my voice, can you please put a Y in the chat box? So that let's start working with the mock number 3 students. Mock number 3 is generally a very basic mock, sorry, not a basic mock, it's a continuation of what we are learning till the date. Okay students, so let's start working on the application first. So mock number 3. So I will also work with you. So I will put here mock number 3 answers. Mock number 3 answers. Let's start working on the students. Mock number 3 answers. Okay. So it's not sir. So Jack Tang has sent you the following mail. As you are aware, during the product distribution process, we are able to do a stock count. But unfortunately, due to the system error in the barcode, we were able to understand that yarn inventory has been shown at a higher amount, but in physical count, the number is less. So students, there is a calculation error in the valuation of stock counts. So stock counts has become an error. So initially they start with the overview of the problem. Now further at the moment, we have to provide some priority orders on the products such as casual wood shoes for some of the orders that has been made in advance. Therefore, I have prepared a schedule on the best possible mix. Please refer the reference material 1. Further, please be kind enough to understand that we are also considering to pay an overtime premium to the craftsmen since it's the last minute work. So get the understanding students, there was an inventory issue and that inventory issue is effectively increasing the limiting factor. That is the craftsman needs to be paid more and they have done a proper mix analysis of this. So students, if you are getting the understanding of this, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you are getting the understanding of this, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. So please, can you respond on the following? Firstly, please evaluate the production schedule. So they're asking you to evaluate the production schedule. And also please be kind enough, whether do we need to pay an overtime premium? So that is the first question that they are asking for. So students, before we go on to the second one, let's go through the production schedule. So don't panic students, this is the production schedule they have given. So I will give you around 1 minute time or 2 minutes time. Can you just go through the schedule? Here they have done all the analysis, but you need to do the application of this only. So if you do not mind, can you just go through this for the moment, students? Please go through this.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, so students, I believe that you are able to go through this for the moment, and I think it is clear. Now, let's start doing the analysis part. The analysis part is not tough, students, because today I think I will guide you on how the analysis part works out. So here, if you see casual wood shoe, running shoe, and the running flat shoe, and this is the total demand, and this is the priority order. So addition is 30. So 20 plus 30, total 50. 25 plus 175, total 200. 40 plus 5 extra, it's going to give you the balance. So students, this is how it is done. So priority order means that you need to do it in the first come, first serve basis. And these are the rest. So students, if you get the application of the table, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you get the application of the table, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you. Average contribution 510, 400, and 500. So this is how the average contribution works out. Craftsman needed per batch 35, 30, 40. So effectively contribution per craftsman is 14.47, 13.33, 12.5. So as per the ranking based on the evaluation, they have ranked casual wood as number 1, running shoe as number 2, and the running flat as number 3. So students, this is just the basic limiting factor analysis. So before we move forward, students, any questions you have, you can ask me. If you are fine with the students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? This is the basic limiting factor analysis, students. Basic limiting factor analysis. Thank you very much, students. Now, if you observe here, craftsman time needed to make priority order. So 35 into 20, that means students, you observe 35 minutes into the 20 batches, so 700 minutes. So similarly, 30 into 25, 750, 40 into 40, 1600. So of the total time available, we can complete the full priority orders. So priority orders can be completed. It's a green light. That means you are sure that the full priority orders can be completed. So I will color this in green. So I believe that is also clear for you, students. Thank you. Now, if you come to the next one, you observe the next one and see 35 into 30, that's 1050. 30 into 163, 4900. So you can observe here what has happened. So first of all, if you see 35 minutes and they have given to the priority number 1, that means after manufacturing 20, the balance 30, that is the total 50 here. So you can anyway go ahead with the casual wool. Casual wool can be done fully. There is no problem. But if you see, we are going with a full priority, but out of 200, we can only go with 163. So the balance of running hill and the running flat cannot be manufactured. So total batch made. So here everything is made. Here only 188 is made. And here only the priority orders are made. So students, this is how they have done the production schedule. So we need to interpret the production schedule. So before we go into the interpretation of the production schedule, any questions you have, you can ask me, students. If you are fine with that, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you are fine with that, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you very much, students. 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 Okay, now students, I will write down here. I will write down here. It's not a difficult one. Let's start working. So it's not a difficult one, students. So I will write down here. Evaluation of the production schedule. Evaluation of the production schedule. Evaluation of the production schedule. Production schedule. Evaluation of the production schedule. So it's not so difficult, students. So I will just guide the examiner how they are done this. So the product ranges of casual wood, running hill, casual wool, running hill, and running flat. And running flat has been mentioned in the table. We are able to understand that the main priority orders should be completed. Main priority orders needs to be completed. Needs to be completed. Therefore, get this understanding carefully. Therefore, we need to understand that the company needs to analyze the contribution per limiting factor in order to make a decision. So students, I believe this is clear. So students, first of all, you rank the product and identify the demand. Now we need to identify which order to be gone. So we need to identify the contribution per limiting factor. So I'll write down here, students. Secondly, in this situation, we can understand that the company is generally having the time constraint of the craftsman, of whom students, of the craftsman, where we have to identify the limiting, or I can say contribution per limiting factor. Contribution per limiting factor. As per the table, the rankings are based on the highest contribution per limiting factor. I believe that is also very clear for that. So students, let's continue with the next one as well. So what is the next one, students? It's very simple. Therefore the rankings are at casual wool, then the running shoes, then the running hill shoes, running hill, and finally the running flat. I believe this gives you a better clarity there. So I will further continue. As per the table, we can understand that the company will be able to complete all priority orders, which is a good management understanding and implementation. Students, I believe this gives you even a better understanding at the moment. So further, I will continue with the writing of this even more so that it will be very, very clear for you. So in that, I will just write down here. However, the total demand, for certain products, such as I will write down here, running flat and running hill could not be satisfied. So that is the basic understanding at the moment. So I'll write down here. Further, the company can also consider the non-financial factors, such as the seasonal demand, and other factors such as consumer trend in the market, consumer trend in the market, and also make a decision, similar to that, similar to that, full stop. So students, what we have done, we have gone through the full ideology. So this is the evaluation of the production schedule. Even it can be more students. You have the past papers, you can just go through that and get the understanding, but explain whether do we need to pay an overtime premium. That is the next question. So students, I need to ask a question. Do we need to pay an overtime premium? Do we need to pay an overtime premium? That is my question to y'all. Students, please tell me, do we need to pay an overtime premium? Students waiting for your response at the moment. Do we need to pay an overtime premium? Yes or no, students? I'm asking you, you can use the chat box. No, yes, I'm getting no also, I'm getting yes also. So someone tell me, why do you think no? Why do you think yes? The rationale behind that, please, because the rationale behind that is very, very important. So students, if you do not mind, can you please tell me, students? If you do not mind, can you please tell me? Why do you think so? Students, where your answers? Okay, time needed is 5950, but we have 9,000 hours available. No, now the thing is for the entire thing, because you need to pay them, because this is a last moment thing. Now at the moment, students, I am saying you, the time they have is 5,900. That is the time, is that limited time. It's not the full time. They are not giving this 9,000 hours, is not an hours that they give it from their full-time working hours. I believe that is very clear for you. Do we need to pay an overtime premium? The correct answer is yes. I'll tell you why. Because currently we need to fulfill our priority batches. So students, if you see, considering the current situation, even if you pay overtime premium, there is not a loss. I'll tell you why. Because students, keep in mind, because you are not wasting anything, students. You are not wasting anything in this case study. Are you getting that understanding there, students? Yes or no? Because the reputation of the business is preserved. Somewhat the reputation of the business is preserved. Students, do you get that point of view? So it's worthwhile to pay the overtime premium because it was a fault that took place in our company. But anyway, whatever said and done, it is something that you can anticipate. So if you are fine with that, students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you are fine with that, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, now students, let's move on to the next one as well. Considering the situation, we need to manage the time based on the priority order. Therefore, since this is a fault that took place in our company, we need to make sure that it is better to pay an overtime premium. It is better to pay an overtime premium. It is better to pay an overtime premium. It is better to pay an overtime premium since the reputation can be preserved. The reputation can be preserved. Get this understanding very clearly, students. The reputation can be preserved. Therefore, we need to make sure. We need to make sure that the company is able to pay the overtime at the moment, and in future they can prevent such incidents. Full stop. Students, I believe that is very clear for you. Thank you very much. So students, it is very clear in that point of view. Any questions you have, students, you can ask me. If you are fine with this, you can please put a Y in the chat box. If you are fine with this, you can please put a Y in the chat box, students. Any questions you have, you can feel free to ask me. If you are fine with that, you can please put a Y in the chat box, students. Thank you very much, everyone. So students, let's go for a break now. After the break, let's continue with the class. Thank you very much, students.
Hello.
Hi students, I am back to the class. If you can hear my voice, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students?
अरे वाई लिखना है मुझे.
Thank you, thank you. So coming to the next one. So next one, generally what do we do with the remaining stocks of yarn? So that is another question. We generally destroy them in more sustainable manner. However, at the moment, we have identified a buyer who is willing to pay $100 per kg of yarn. And also the balance can be repurposed instead of making shoes. We can make the wallet, that is a purse, we can make the wallet, and we found some very small medium business. Therefore, we are planning to offer as a helping hand. So that's a charity they are saying. Secondly, please can you respond on the following? What will be the impact to the financial statement by referring the co-active accounting standards for the guidance? Okay, co-accounting standard for the guidance. Students, this is inventory. When you see the term stocks, that is inventory. So they are asking you inventory application, IAS2 application here. So students, what I will write down here is IAS2, that is the inventory. IAS2, that is the inventory. So this one is F2 area. So observe it very carefully. We are getting a mix of P2 and F2, P2 and F2. So students, let's write down the point here. In accordance with IAS2, we need to understand that the company should always measure the inventory at lower of cost or NRV. We need to measure the inventory at lower of cost or NRV. Therefore, in this case, we can clearly identify that there is a buyer at $100K per kg, and also we are giving the stocks away. So we need to understand that the financial statements of Trade Cushy should have the following adjustment. That is the inventory should be measured at NRV. Therefore, the financial statements will have a fair presentation. So students, are you getting this point of view, students? So it is a basic aspect of the IAS2 only. So students, just to make it more clearer for you, NRV means net realizable value. Net realizable value means, students, selling price less the selling cost, net realizable value. Then there is one more element, that is the book value. Book value means the original purchase price. Original purchase price. Now, students, in IAS 2, this is a standard application. We need to measure at the lower figure. This is a rule actually, due to prudence concept. Due to prudence concept. Due to prudence concept. This is the basic understanding. So students, inventories are recorded at lower value. Are recorded at lower value. Are recorded at lower value. Recorded at lower value. So get this understanding very clearly, students. So this is the application of the inventory. So now, students, now another example I can generally say, I can give you a small example. Now let's assume, students, example, A Limited purchased goods for $1,000. NRV today is $700. There is a difference. The difference is $300, and this difference of $300, what we do is we generally treat it as impairment loss. Treat it as impairment loss. Students, I believe this has given a better clarity there. Any questions you have, you can ask me, students. Any questions you have, you can ask me. If you are fine with that, students, can you please put a Y in the chat box, students? If you are fine with that, can you please put a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you. And students, please let me know any questions you want me to think and do as well. So I believe this is fine. So students, now let's come to the next one. We have done a small risk analysis. Please refer the table 2. In the reference material, we have applied the concept of expected value in order to prevent wrong stock taking. So students, they have done a small table on expected value. So please, can you explain the table? So this is how in the operational case study it will be there. They give you table, you need to explain the table. So let's go through the table, students. So students, I'm giving you around 2 minutes. Can you just go through this table, please? Please go through the table. 2 minutes given. Okay. So students, now let's come to the evaluation of the expected value. Okay, now if you can hear my voice, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? So let's finish this question off. Thank you. Thank you very much. So if you see, there are two possibilities. You check the barcodes. You do not check the barcodes. You check the barcodes. You do not check the barcodes. Predicted outcome, cost. Now, no errors found. Anyway, it will be 0. Probability 25 and it's 0. Moderate level, it happens, it's 0.6 and 600 is the cost. And if you see here, it's 2,400. Now, if you do not check students, the expected value is 75,000. Now, if you see the costing is very high, it's from 600, it can go to 30,000. From 2,400, it can go to 45,000 as well. So students, I am just asking from you, are you getting the understanding here? So this is the probability. So I will always suggest it's always better to go with checking the barcodes. At least you can save the minimum cost from 75 to 3,000, almost 72,000 savings. So I will write down here, students, expected value is a technique using probability. Is a technique using probability where the company will be able to generally manage the cost, based on the past experience, This will be presented, as a quantified amount. So students, any question in this you can ask me. If you are fine with that, students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? If you are fine with that, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. So I will just explain this properly. So I'll just say there are two scenarios. Scenario one. So scenario one is check. The company can check the barcodes where in case if there is a situation of a default, there is chances that the total expected value will be $3,000 only. Now you observe it very carefully, $3,000 only. However, there needs to be some extra cost and time to be spent in order to analyze the cost. Students, I believe this gives you a better perspective and understanding here. So before moving forward, students, any questions you have, you can ask me. So let's go to the scenario 2 as well. So scenario 2, do not check. Scenario 2 is do not check. In the case the company does not check, in the case the company does not check, there can be a situation where they can save the checking cost. However, in case if there is any issues, then the total cost will be 75,000. The total cost will be $75,000, which is an very significant difference. I believe this gives you a better clarity. This is a very significant difference. Therefore, we need to be careful. We need to be careful on analyzing the amounts. Get this understanding very, very clearly, students. It is very, very simple and easy. Full stop. As per the expected value calculation, we can understand that the checking the barcode is the best solution. Keep in mind. However, there can be situations where the company will be able to understand the assumptions, on the probability ranges. Since these cannot be 100% accurate, because the company has to consider other factors such as ERP system, previous work history. Full stop. So students, before moving forward, any questions you have, you can ask me, students. So this is again another mock discussion we have done. So any questions, students, if you have to ask, you can ask me. If you are fine with this, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Thank you very much. So students, now can you let me know that how many of you all has completed the full FLP portal? Double Y. If you have not completed, put in. If you have not completed, put in. Double Y if you have completed. If you did not complete, put an in. Okay, now team leaders, today in the WhatsApp group, you need to do an audit. You need to ask your, okay, Deepansh, thank you, Deepansh. The regular CIMA students get the access and go through that portal, students. The regular CIMA students also go through that portal. It won't be a waste of time. Okay, so students, I will give you a material today called HTFT material. It has a lot of questions in that. So my suggestion is that it will be better, students. Sorry, it's not. So it will be better, students, if you can start going through that questions as well, so that you will get the clarity of this understanding also. So that is my concern at the moment. So students, I think we can go for mocks in the next class as well. So today we are done with this question and answer session. Students, any questions for the day? Question and answer session. Because you see, day by day, the speed is increasing. We are increasing our speed, students. And this Sunday, most probably, I will give you an assessment. You can do it, students. You can do the assessment this Sunday. I will give you a mock. You must do it on Sunday. Just take a half an hour, 45 minutes and finish. Just one question only. So tomorrow I will continue with another question as well. So overall, I believe if you need anything, just let me know, students. So thank you very much, students, for today's time. And please do the other questions as well. So have a wonderful evening, students. Take care, students. Bye.